Good morning, everybody, and this is your DAX day trade setups for today. So, could possibly be an exhaustion gap down here this morning. Be very, very careful of what we're seeing right now, especially after what we are seeing on the S&P. There's a massive wedge forming on the S&P, which we need to pay attention to. So, we do have some structure here. We have touched it before. We're coming back to touch it. Look at the diversions brewing here. So from there to there, that divergence is still in play. On the US markets, it's actually not, but on the DAX, it's definitely still in play. We have a potential double bottom set up. Remember, for that to play out, we need to break above this area here, which is 13,158. Let me just plug some power in here for my headset. Okay, so that is the setup we see here. We've had just range bars and tails and confusion, and that's just been the norm. And if I just take a bigger view, sort of a macro view of this, and look to the left, you can see this area has got a lot of significance. Have a look at all this. You can see this is all the way back to when was this? This was 2017. No, sorry, 2020. So all the way back to 2020. So you can see how long we stayed in this range. And I do remember this section was quite we were just trading the range all the time until we sort of dropped below it and then accelerated up. But at the moment, what we really need to be paying attention to is the structure that we see. And that is this potential double bottom. There are gaps to the downside here. And there are a few other tails here as well. So just get them in. There it is there. So that is the zone we need to pay attention to. Now, looking at the oscillators, this is not an area I want to be jumping in short. So from a long-term perspective, so if I was wanting to invest in the DAX with physical stocks, I'd be looking for opportunities to buy with a setup like this right now. And I'd be doing that off the monthly or off the weekly charts. So it does look like a bit of a flat bottom triangle trying to form here on the weekly, but if you look at the monthly, complete different picture at the moment. So this is definitely an area I would be looking to start expanding my longer term portfolio. So that whole thing of buying when people are selling, this is kind of what they're talking about, is you're looking for opportunities. And this to me is an opportunity brewing. Just from the long-term perspective. Anyway, we're not trading long-term here. We're trading day trading, and we need to get on to the lower time frame. So 3 hour, nothing really transpired. I don't even think we had an opportunity here. We missed this swing high. We've been waiting for this swing high for a while. This one was kind of in the middle of nowhere. We just get back down to the hour. You're going to see, yesterday, so the day before yesterday was a big up, big down. There was no discussion here. We really didn't have an opportunity to get into that trade. And then yesterday was another big up, big down, big up scenario. And the only thing that I can see is that inside tail there. So you can see we broke above there. So we broke below it. Okay, firstly, closed below. Then we got here. We tried to reject it. You would have had an entry here, and that was on the second hour, so that wouldn't have worked pre-market. And then you had all this chaos here before we moved the downside. So if we just look at the 15 minute, what happened on the 15 minute? Again, no opportunities early in the session. Opportunity only really came, and I'm just going to fine tune it because there it is there. The opportunity only really came a little bit later in the session, and that was 1:30, 2:30, 3:00. So that was right at the US Open. So you can see up until then we were kind of flat, and then the US Open we had this move off here. But for me, when the US Open opens, I switch to the US chart. So there was nothing here in the morning for us. Today, same scenario. Let's just get back to the hour. So it's exactly the same scenario. I'm really reluctant, in actual fact, to be jumping in short. Look at the oscillators on the hour at the moment. I'm not willing to jump in long either. But I do suspect you're probably going to get some kind of a move up to this area here. That's at 12,810. So a rejection off there. And that would be the area for me to look at shorts, specifically on the 15-minute. One other thing that you need to bear in mind, there's another gap up here. It's on the US markets as well. So somewhere in this area is a gap. It does break a trend line though. There's a trend line that's broken already. So lots of confusion here. And we do have jobs numbers today and non-farm payrolls number tomorrow. So this is kind of the setup that I'd be looking for on the 15-minute. Is I'd look for some sort of structure here at 12,829 and 12,810. That is a shorting opportunity. The trend is down. I want to go with the trend which is down. So that's my shorting opportunity up there. Ideally, I want to keep that. Okay, it's going to be relatively small. So you're talking about a 50-point stop loss for a 75-point gain, because I would expect us to revisit this area here during market, which is 12,729. Now, you've got a lot of data coming out today. Any bit of that data could be the catalyst that the bulls that are looking at the macro charts, so it could be the catalyst that they're looking for to kickstart us. So we've had a pretty solid break up. Let's just go to the daily. I think you're going to see it a little bit better. You can see we've had a pretty solid kick up. They're going to be looking to move it back up. The bears are going to be looking at this as one massive flat bottom triangle. You just put a line like that, and you'll see there all this chaos at the bottom here is the base of the triangle. There's the top of the triangle. So the bears are going to be saying, no problem, we'll take profit here, let you push it up a bit more, and we're going to get a better entry higher up. So this is all on the daily. You can see that's exactly what is going to transpire. I don't see us pushing through this zone unless there's some really bad noise coming out, which is going to drive us down. Look at the daily oscillators as well. It's not an area I want to be short from a long-term perspective. So this here is just telling me be very, very, very careful, because there is potentially another leg like this that we had over the last 2 months, another leg up to come and test a breakout before moving down again. So short-term trend is down. You're looking for rejection off here. If that fails, you can still look higher up. You can still look for rejection there. Just bear in mind that that breaks this trend line, and it would probably, sorry, let's just do this. Which would probably make the most sense. There's the first 2 touches of the trend line, so you've got that area as well to pay attention to. This area here would definitely be something worth paying attention to, 12,882. So that would give me 127 point stop loss. I'd be above this area here, and you're looking for another visit down here, which is 150. So it's a 1-to-1 trade basically. So that's the setups I'm seeing today. And you can see it's already starting. You can see already starting to move to the upside. And pay attention on the 15-minute. You want to keep those stops tight, just based on what we're seeing on the higher time frames. You don't want to get stuck in sort of short and there's no structure. If the structure gives way, sit back and wait. There is a gap higher up as well. So there's a lot of targets to the upside, which you could get a pretty strong move up. And that could create a big engulfing bar as well on the higher time frame. So lots of confusion, and I think that's why you want to go with the trend, but you also want to be very careful and pay attention to the bigger structures that are forming. Anyway, guys, that's enough from me today. These are the zones I'm looking at. So look at 12,882, 12,829, and 12,799. So those are the areas that you're looking for a rejection of. Any close and bounce above 12,882, all bets are off, then I'd be looking for opportunities to the upside. Anyway, hope that helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Cheers for now.